what is going on with the price of gold. So we crossed $3,000 per ounce. It's at an all-time high. So why? And will it continue to go up? So all of these questions are very much related to my research. So I see two main drivers for the recent appreciation in the price of gold. The first one has been going on for a while. So after Russia invaded Ukraine, the US dollar was weaponized by the US. So amongst other sanctions, Russia was slapped with restrictions on using the SWIFT system, for example. So this weaponization of the US dollar definitely caught the attention of China. So China wants to strategically reduce their dependence upon the US dollar. This is sometimes known as de-dollarization. In order for China to do this, they need to increase the credibility of their own currency. And one way to do that is to increase their gold holdings. And that's exactly what China has been doing. So their official holdings have gone up since November of 2022 by about 15%. And it's important to realize that the amount of gold that is actually mined or produced every year is very limited. So last year, it was 3,300 metric tons. So when the demand for gold increases, it's not so easy to increase the supply. The supply is relatively fixed. And when the demand increases, that means the price goes up. So that's one driver. The second driver is the increased recent uncertainty. So given the uncertainty about, for example, tariff policy, given the uncertainty about what will happen to inflation over the next couple of years, given the uncertainty about the economic outlook, people naturally go to what they perceive to be a safe haven, and that is gold. So gold has got a long track record going back millennia. But there's one thing that is really important to understand, and that is gold is volatile. Gold is as volatile as the S&P 500. And we know that the S&P 500 can go up and it can go down. And that's the same thing with gold. So that said, we need to be careful in thinking about the risk of gold. Yes, it's got the same volatility as the S&P, but it's got low correlation with the S&P. So my research looked at 10 major drawdowns in the stock market. So, and these are major drawdowns. And I look at the price of gold. What happens to gold during these drawdowns? And you can see that in 7 of the 10 major drawdowns, the gold price actually went up. In 3 drawdowns, it went down. But, and this is important, it went down by far less than the stock market. So this means that gold actually does provide some diversification. So I think that part of what's going on today is that investors, both retail investors and institutional investors, are recalibrating their portfolio. They are reallocating to what they consider safe assets, which could be inflation-protected bonds, it could be gold, it could be commodities. And the same issue that given that the supply is relatively fixed, when you increase the demand, the price goes up. And this, in my opinion, is the reason that we're at an all-time high for the price of gold. Now, my research also looks at historical patterns after peaks. And my research suggests that at these peaks, if you look at the next 5 or 10 years, the expected returns of the historical track record is actually not that great. So the returns are low or negative. So beware when you invest at a peak.